Hey, good morning, friends. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Let's get Instagram up and running. Here she comes. There's the picture. Hit go live. Good morning, Instagram. Let's add TikTok into the mix. Can I ask you something? When the voice in your head tells you you're not good enough, why do you believe it so quickly? Because I'll bet that there's evidence that says otherwise. Good morning. This is the Daily, the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. Good morning, Minik Sun, Rachan, Kareem. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. It is Tuesday, July 21st, and this is your spot for real life stories, insights, and strategies for the working actor. Let me know what you're working on in your acting career so that we can get all of that discussion out in the open. Hey, Brian Seastrom, thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. I think actors make one mistake over and over again. We treat our feelings like facts, but feelings change by the hour, but evidence doesn't. You know, we all have days where we doubt ourselves, where we have days where we're feeling invincible and like, we got this, we can do this, we know we can do this. And then there are the days where we wake up thinking, who the hell do I think I am? Who do I think I am? I am in a city surrounded by talent, all sitting around doing nothing. And I think I'm going to be the one who's going to book the job. We all have these days, right? It doesn't make you weak. It just makes you human. Like this is what we deal with on a regular basis because we're surrounded by talented people who are all asking the same question and dealing with the same issues. But the question is, which voice gets to make decisions? Do you trust yourself more on some days than others? Is that what you're faced with? Hey, Brian, let me know if this is resonating with you. I'm, because I feel like I'm not alone in this. And on those days when I wake up thinking, who the hell do I think I am? I am 55 years old and I am pursuing higher profile television work, right? Who the hell do I think I am? But here's what I've noticed about myself. There are those days where I feel like I'm not booking, I'm behind, I'm not improving, everyone else is doing it better, but none of those are necessary. None of those thoughts, none of those feelings. Hey, Belensky, thanks for coming back. None of those thoughts, none of those feelings are supported by the facts. Your feelings are real. They're just not reliable. So I have something that I call the evidence file. I'm doing good, Belensky. How are things in Indonesia today? The evidence file it can be physical or it can be something that we keep mentally, but it is, the things that belong, like in my evidence file, for example, I have an email from a Broadway producer that that you've heard of, who raved about my work. I had been an understudy for a high-profile project, and I got to go on for the lead for 9 performances, I think it was, because the lead got COVID and had to call out. And when that project was supposed to transfer to Broadway and ended up not transferring to Broadway because that lead couldn't make the deal work, I just emailed the producer and threw my hat into the ring. Like, what the hell do I have to lose, right? It was a moment I was really proud of. I literally said, I would do anything to bring this story to Broadway. And if you need me to jump in and play the lead, I will do that. And he wrote this really, really beautiful, supportive email saying, your interpretation of the role was so beautiful and so he loved it. I won't use his exact language, but he loved it. And so I keep that in my evidence file. Brian says our feelings are real, but we don't know the whole picture all the time, just our perspective. That's absolutely true. And I guess my point is I am trying to find ways to to decide which voice I get to make the decisions for that day. And one of the tools that I use is the evidence file. So in my evidence file, I have this email from a Broadway producer telling me how much he loved my interpretation of a role. I can be thrilled that I got, hey, Tamitome, thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. This is the daily, the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. Let me know what you're working on in your acting career. I remember being recently thrilled that I got a callback for a high-profile film. I was pinned for a high-profile film that's shooting at the moment. Um, I had one line, I booked one line in a television series that was created by Steven Soderbergh. It was one line, like, it was one line. But Steven Soderbergh looked at my audition tape and said, "Yep, that guy." I mean, that goes in my evidence file. And it could be anything. It can be a booking, it can be a callback, it could be an email complimenting your work, it could be a casting director saying, "Great audition." It can be a director calling you in. It can be that tricky, difficult self-tape that's been giving you grief and getting it done. It can be showing up to class consistently. It can be the risks you've taken, the relationships you've built. I there Anything can go into your evidence file, but keep it close. It's just your reminder that your career has real, tangible evidence behind it. Hey, Brian, I'm glad this is making sense to you as well. Uh, what's interesting to me is why is one rejection louder than 10 successes? Why is it so easy to remember that one thing that we feel shame or guilt or embarrassment about than it is to remember the times when the Broadway producer did email you a compliment? That's what I find. Our brains replay criticism more vividly than encouragement. So my feeling is that we have to intentionally revisit the evidence that we've already learned. We know the evidence is there, but it takes more effort on our part to recall it and revisit it and let that be what makes the decisions for us. So the evidence file is how I do that. And so this whole sort of topic came out of a coaching session that I did yesterday because my client said to me, deep down, I know I can do it, which is such an interesting thing to say because if deep down you already know you can do it, you can succeed in whatever the task is for that day, then the question isn't about talent anymore. The question is which voice gets to lead the decision making for today. Does that make sense? It's like So that is when the evidence file becomes the thing that helps you lead from the person who knows that they can do it. The evidence file is steers you away from the voice that says, "Who the hell do I think I am?" and steers you back towards, "Deep down, I know I can do it." That's what the evidence file does. And it can be anything. So if you don't have an evidence file, please start one. It can be like a notes app folder. It can be a photo album of your successes. It can be stories that you keep in a Google Doc. It can be a physical folder. I mean, I am a huge fan of the Moleskine notebook. Is it Moleskine? Actually, this is not a Moleskine. This is a different brand. Oh no, this one is a Moleskine. Okay, I'm not lying. I think the next one I bought, because this is almost out of pages. So I bought a new one, which is not a Moleskine. But I really want to encourage you to legitimately remind yourself of that one piece of evidence that you've forgotten about momentarily or pushed to the side. Brian, do you have one of those? I would love to hear your success stories. What's the one piece of evidence that you have but don't keep present all the time? That's what I would love to talk about. That's what I would love to hear your takes on. What are the success stories? Because I just think being able to physically have them in a place where you can recall them and revisit them, that's what helps us get away from the voice that says, "Who the hell do I think I am?" All right, we got some hot topics over on TikTok. Boral says, "What can you say about celebs selling their souls and other stuff like clones?" Gosh, celebs selling their souls. I'm rewatching The Comeback at the moment, and it's such a Valerie Cherish is such an interesting character because we sort of recognize that person, but we don't know them. I don't know them. We sort of assume that celebrities are so desperate for attention, so desperate to be in the spotlight that we assume that they've sold their souls. Um, but I don't know what the reality of it is. But I am also a fan of using your using the resources you have available to you. Celebrities may well have good reasons for selling their souls. I know that the celebrity ladder is changing, certainly here in the US. I'm not sure what it's like in other countries around the world, but I know that things are getting more difficult higher up the ladder than me, as the Nicole Kidmans of the world move into the series regular roles. The actors who used to be able to book series regular roles are now only having guest stars available to them, which means that the actors who booked the guest stars are now being bumped down to the co-stars, which is where people like me get bumped out of the picture. And uh, like the who was it? Cheyenne Jackson. Cheyenne Jackson wasn't going to earn $25,000 in a year. This is a couple of years ago. Cheyenne Jackson hadn't booked enough television work to get his health insurance through the union and his family's health insurance through the union. And because in order to do that, you have to book $25,000 worth of work in that 12-month period, and he wasn't going to make it. So he called up Kathy Bates and said, "I'll take anything on Matlock. I'm just shy of the $25,000, and I will take anything on Matlock." So Cheyenne Jackson ended up having a 3-line co-star on Matlock just so that he could make his minimum to get equity, to get SAG-AFTRA health insurance. So who are the big people you've worked with? I've worked with a lot of Broadway celebrities, but I guess the biggest name that I've worked with is Jim Parsons, of course, the star of Big Bang Theory. Is it still possible to move as a writer or an actor to New York City and make it, even if it means holding down a job? Uh, Holding down a job and loving what you do. Um, uh, every day, somebody comes to New York City and makes it as a writer or an actor. And the interesting thing is the different ways that people find to make it. And you have to decide what making it is for yourself. It's interesting because my mom, my mom said to me at the beginning of the year, she's like, "You haven't made it in television, have you?" And I'm like, "Mom, I have booked many co-stars, a couple of guest stars, a recurring role. I am on television. I don't know if that's making it or not." But to me, I could definitely point to those as successes. So I'm fascinated. I think we all have different interpretations of what making it means. Um, and the other thing I will say about even if it means holding down a job and loving what you do, I think almost every actor in New York City has to hold down a job in order to do the acting. Some people call it the side hustle, whatever that means to you. I or a parallel career, and we all find our own way to uh, to to keep the money flowing to support the acting career. I have been lucky enough to put ourselves in a house that we could afford where we have a rental apartment. So my side hustle is being a landlord. It's a lot of work. And you know, but that keeps just enough income coming in to supplement my meager acting income because I'm a working actor, not a name actor. So I don't know. Even the actors who are in long running shows have another job, whether that's teaching or coaching. That's what I'm thinking of. Even like the actors that I know who are in long running shows, all of them have income from another source. So it's no shame. There's no embarrassment. There is no shame in having another source of income. Every actor does it. There are very few actors I know who only get their income from acting and acting alone. I mean, I was thrilled when I was able to give up working in restaurants 10, 15 years ago now. My gosh, is it really that long? Because that was how between acting jobs, that's what I'd go back to. But these days, I'm a landlord and I coach. I have coaching clients. If you're interested in coaching, you can click the Service Plus, fill out a form, and let's talk. Let's find out what we can do. So the question from Anthony Marathon Davis Jr. is it hard being a New York City actor? From some people's perspective, it might be hard, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the figuring it out. I can't think of what I do as hard because then I don't think I would do it anymore. Um, I enjoy it. Does that make any sense? Hi, friends. Hey, Sully. Thanks for being here. I support you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. This is the daily. Wow. I'm not going to answer that question. Uh, um, Sully, where are you coming from? Let me know what you're working on in your acting career. I would love to hear from you. Um, okay, let's go over here. All right. Uh, so yeah, let me know what you're working on in your acting career today. What do I have? Gosh, today I'm dreading this a little bit, but Spain are the champions. Congratulations to Spain. It was very interesting. I have a coaching client who's from Argentina, and I checked in with them to make sure they were doing okay. They were like, "Eh, we lost. Okay, moving on." Thanks, Port 5401. I appreciate your support, my friend. Um, this is the daily, the morning report from the Working Actor NYC, and this is your spot to hear real life stories, to get insights and strategies about being a working actor. I am in New York City, of course, but let me know where you are in the world. Sully, I used to be an actor as a kid. Oh, no chance of going back to it. Tell me what happened on that journey, Sully. Hey, Lean's here. Hi, good to see you, Lean. Thanks for coming on back. Um, Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, yes, so today I'm dreading things a little bit because, hi, Putariro. I have a meeting with a financial advisor today to take a look at our finances and tell us what we should be doing because we're getting old now and we're supposed to be taking care of these things. Hey, Kuwait, thanks for being here. Open the tape. Sully says, man, it was awesome. I remember my older brother taking me to a studio and I shot my first small movie. Yes. Come on, movie. Come on, big screen career. That's really fun. Why did you stop pursuing that, Sully? I'd be interested to find out. There is no easy way to get money. Why there is no easy way to get money? If it were easy, everybody would do it and then it wouldn't be worth so much. Halim, that is what I say. Ethan Hardy Benson. Hey, man, you're all good speed crush show crossover housemate here. Hey, Ethan, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. What are you working on now? You're always working on something cool. Um, Amazing singer, Ethan Benson over there. Indeed. Hi, Savannah. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. This is the daily, the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. We have delved deep today into strategies for combating the voice that that likes to say, "Who the hell do I think I am?" We've talked about the evidence file, about building your evidence file. That's my favorite tool for combating that voice and letting the confident and brave part of me make the decisions today instead of the part of me that wants to pretend like I'm not good enough when I know I am. Ethan says, I'm over in Hong Kong right now, off on the JCS International Tour at the moment, mid-show. Come on. I love it. Clicking in from mid-show on Jesus Christ Superstar. Come on. That is some high, high tenor tones over there being exercised. That's fantastic, man. I'm glad you're in Hong Kong. I've never been. I'm dying to go. I used to live in Singapore, so always wanted to go to Hong Kong, but all right, take it easy, Ethan. Have a good show. Break a leg, man. Oh, we're getting a spell cast over here by Ahmed Alatar. I hope it's a kind spell. That's fun. I love that that friends pop into the live from all over the world. How cool is that? And this is the thing with being a working actor in New York City. You can be based here, but it's interesting because one of my coaching clients is from another country, and the what they had not realized is that a lot of the work that you're auditioning for in New York City is actually for places outside of New York City, and that's because every theater in the country comes to New York City to audition actors because this is where the actors are, and uh, the jobs don't keep you here in New York City? A lot of the work is in other cities in Hey, Alonso, saludos, Alonso. A lot of the work that you're auditioning for here in New York City is for regional theaters around the country and for international tours, like Ethan Benson over here, Ethan Hardy Benson, who is who messaged in from Jesus Christ Superstar International Tour, where they are currently in mid-show in Hong Kong. How cool. Hey, Mexico, thanks for being in the house. So yeah, I mean, I want to learn English by speaking with, oh, I've heard about this. Why USA way more modern than EU? Halim, I'm not certain that that's true. If you've ever taken the subway in New York City, it does not feel modern. It feels very old and run down. Uh, Whereas when I go home to Australia, I always sort of look at the trains there and think, this is so nice. It's so clean. Why is it so hard in New York City to get the subways so up to date and so modern? And I also, I don't know, what makes you say that, Halim? I'm interested what your points of comparison are. It would be interesting to, oh, thanks, Lean. It would be interesting to find out what your points of comparison are, because I don't know that the way the US deals with, I don't know, for example, healthcare is a more modern uh, system than they have in the EU World Cup. Ah, I see. I believe the World Cup was a organizational success. Uh, but having said that, I mean, matches were played in other countries other than the US. Matches were played in Canada. Matches were played in Mexico. So um, I think that it was a joint effort. But I'm very happy and proud for all of the organizational skills that went into producing such a successful World Cup. And congratulations to Spain. And just now the stories are coming out that things that I am disheartened about. Does anybody have any opinions about the refereeing of the Argentina-Egypt match? I'm only just now catching up on that news, so I'd be interested to know if you have saw that match and if you have feelings and opinions about it. Okay, PJ FHJYYY. I've already made it, so thanks for being here. You screenshot the chat. Hi, Moon Guijar. I'm doing great. How are you? We get some combative people over in the TikTok chat. Let's see who's over here. I'm not sure if Lean is still here. Lean from Kuwait, thanks for showing up. Originally from Australia and now based in New York City. Where are you from? Let me know where you are. Oh, the Egyptian coach failed to manage the match. Jay from the Philippines is here. Hey, Jay, thanks for being here. Mungujar is from Pakistan. Awesome. Oh, this is cool. So we've had Hong Kong, Kuwait, Pakistan, Philippines, Indonesia. Where else? Where else are we coming in from? Ah, Chicago and Algeria. Oh, cool. I did not watch the match. Moaz Mohammed, I just heard the about the controversy. When was that match? How long ago was that match? Why are we just now hearing about it? How the uh, the French referee uh, clearly leaning towards Argentina instead of Egypt. Are those decisions up to the coach to manage? I don't know. It didn't. Ref wasn't fair. Yeah, The ref was not fair. That is what I'm learning now. I wish I'd been able to sort of join that conversation in real time, because if there's one thing, as a kid who is as a former kid who is bullied, I do not like unfair situations. I feel injustice pretty deeply. There's an author here in the US called Meta Wagner, and she created a system of creative personality types. And one of them is the advocate, who feels injustices very deeply, and that resonates with me. There are other creative artistic types, that personality types, that I resonate with more deeply, like the A-lister and the artisan, because I love working things out, and I'm a pretty big fan of being in the spotlight too. So those are the artistic types. But if you haven't heard of Meta Wagner, check out her system of creative personality types. All right, my friends, it has been fantastic spending this half hour with you. I will be right back here at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Let's get more into what you're working on in your acting career. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, wherever you are in your acting career, you got this. Keep going. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. All right, my friend.